This is chicken stock, and all as I have done is put the bones into cold water along with a bit of chopped onion, and I am letting it boil and reduce, and you will get all the goodness out of the chicken bones. I'm sure you've often heard where people have said if you have flu or cold to drink chicken soup, and this is where it comes from, all the goodness out of the chicken bones. So I will show you then whenever I can it up, and I will always have it then in the fridge for making nice chicken and vegetable soup. Smell of this is absolutely delicious. Wonderful, fresh, homemade stock. See how much it's reduced down? I've just emptied that into a sieve in the sink, and as you can see, just give me a second, it's nicely dribbling in here still, but we have nice stock underneath. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take these bones and onions and I'm going to put them back in, and I'm going to fill that again, and we're going to get another batch. All right, so basically from this, which doesn't look too pleasant, you get this beautiful, beautiful batch of chicken stock. And just to show you, I've just filled that pot again with water after throwing back in the bones and a bit of onion, and I will let that boil now for, I let that boil, and then I will turn it down to a simmer and let it simmer for a good 4 to 6 hours, and that will reduce down and give me that lovely golden chicken stock again. So I'll get 2 pots out of it. Now I have just filled, this is an old mayonnaise jar, it's quite a big jar, and I have just filled it with warm water, because we do not put warm liquid, hot liquid into a cold jar. So fill that with warm water out of the kettle, not boiling, just warm, and it'll sit for a while, and the stock will sit for a while, and then we'll empty out the water and we'll pour the stock in to the jar, which will be warm at that stage. Okay, so we have 3 things we need here, which is a simple jug. We have our jar, which still has the water in it, and we have our stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty the water out of the jar, which is now nice and warm. I'm going to pour the stock into the jug, and then I'm going to transfer it into the jar. So, water empty. Pour it in. And in we go. Look at the colour of that. Isn't it absolutely delicious? And could you have asked for better? Filled just nicely to the top. Now, because I heated the jar, because the stock itself is warm, the both now are in the jar, and you can hear that. But once this cools down, believe it or not, that jar will have sealed, and I will have one nice tight jar, and all because I heated the jar and put warm liquid into it, so it will now seal itself. So from just water, a bit of onion, and the carcass of the chicken, I have made myself a litre of beautiful, fresh, homemade chicken stock. I hope you give it a try. Okay, so here I have the second batch of my lovely chicken stock that I have made up from the bones. And what I'm going to do is make a little bit of soup. So I just want to show you, I know I haven't shown you how I do this, but I have actually done it. These are dehydrated leeks, as you can see, because I am fed up of vegetables these days not lasting and going off. So I'm going to put the leeks in there. They will rehydrate, and it's just like I put fresh ones in whenever the soup gets going. I also want to add barley to this. We love barley, and barley will thicken the soup. So we're going to add plenty of barley. As you see, I don't measure, I just throw in. Here we have dehydrated celery, and again, whenever that rehydrates, it'll be the size of chunks of celery. It's hard to imagine, but it's great because I don't have anything going off, and I can just keep it all in a jar in the cupboard. And the last one, which was my biggest bugbear of all, was carrots. I couldn't keep carrots for 3 days without them going off. And this is what your dehydrated carrot looks like. Okay, but again, that will rehydrate and we will have nice lumps of carrot in the soup. So this will be chicken and vegetable. Once the soup is cooked, I will add a little bit of cooked chicken to it, and I will add a few other little bits and pieces. I am going to add, no, I'm not. I'm going to add tarragon, because there's nothing nicer than a little bit of tarragon in your soup. Not too much, it just gives that lovely added flavour. And I am going to let that now boil up, simmer for an hour or so, and we will come back to it and see what else I'm going to do with it. Okay, we're back and our soup has very nicely thickened up, and as you can see, our vegetables have rehydrated again. And so now I'm going to put the last few bits into it just to make it even nicer. So it actually has, to lift this, thickened up quite nicely. Let me see, can I get this? Alright, and as you can see, it's nice and thick, plenty of everything in it. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to add my secret ingredient, which is 1 packet of chicken cup of soup. Okay. I'm just going to stir that in. And that mixed with that beautiful chicken stock and the tarragon makes such a difference. And because of that, now I can add some more water, just a little. not too much, but the powder actually thickens it as well a little. So, and I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. And the last thing, I'm going to add a little bit of chicken. Just throw it all in there, just little bits that are left from when you did the bones. And they're the edible bits. So put it all in, and now we're left with a nice homemade soup. Let's see if I can get this now. Okay, nice, thick, brothy, chickeny, homemade soup. Yum yum. And that really is it. That's all there is to it. So easy. You can use fresh vegetables, you can use your dehydrated vegetables, you can even use vegetables from the freezer. I have just got some fresh vegetables delivered here, so as yet I don't have any of my own. And again, I will be saving the stalks of these to replant, and I will either be using them fresh or I will be dehydrating them. And I know I have promised you a dehydrating video, and I will do it. I have actually done one on vacuum sealing, which I just haven't got around to uploading yet. So hopefully this will encourage you to stew those bones, boil the bones, and get a little bit of homemade chicken stock, or any stock at all. You can use any bones, and it'll make for a very tasty meal. It doesn't have to be used for soup. It can be used for stews, for sauces, anything like that there. So just get creative.